Sup? I made it to the front cover of the newspaper. In all seriousness, it was a Thursday and it was only small, but I still made it to the front cover of the newspaper. Count it! At the end of my last video, I said there was a lightning storm brewing and I wanted to take you guys with me. First of all, I'm sorry that I didn't. Second of all, it got way too dang hectic. I had every intention of taking you, all my vlog gear was with me. It was just too dang hectic. I figured in lieu of not taking you out on the shoot, perhaps I could show you how to get the big dog lightning shots. First, let's gloss over the night, and if you're only here for the shoot, thanks for sticking around. We'll catch you at this timestamp. Otherwise, quick little story, let's get into it. But before we do, if you like my videos and you want to support the channel, please give it a big fat thumbs up, comment something positive, hit the subscribe button, ding the bell, it's free for you, means the world to me. Let's get going. First off, I went to a local beach and I got this. I got home, I thought that looks sick, I posted it, someone told me it looked like a stick figure, and now I can't unsee that. Thanks, cat! While I was at the beach, I got hammered with some good old sideways rain, sand, and salt water combination.
It's raining sideways!
Sounds rough, Ollie. Do you have an umbrella?
Inside out, 2 miles away!
And if you know jack about shit about cameras, you know, that's a terrible combo. And that's the reason I feel quite confident in saying the A7S III and the A7R4 have a lot better weather sealing than I first thought. So after about 20 minutes of this sideways rain, I thought, you know what? I make a bit better human than I do a sponge. Let's get out of here, let's get back to the car. So I cover all my gear, hunched over, trying to keep it as dry as I can. I get back to the car, and I realize I don't know where my keys are. Spend 5 minutes looking for it, still hunched over my camera gear. The parking lot's crowded, I look like an idiot. Turns out the keys were in my pocket all along. I finally get in my car, I spent about 20 minutes cleaning my gear, trying to get all the sand, rain and salt water off the camera. Then I drove home, 2-minute power shower, get all the sand off, new outfit, back out to town. And that's where I snapped this photo of a cathedral. That's when I thought the light show was completely over. And then I checked the app one last time. More strikes inbound? About 30 minutes to some higher ground? Let's go. I drove incredibly responsibly. I got to the car park, got out, took a few bangers, got this one, alright, front cover, back to bed by about 2:30, woke up, it's the next day. Now this one that made the front cover, yes, it was a Thursday morning, yes, it was a small image. I picked up a copy of this on the way to pick up my PS5. Ooh, what a treat. Anyhow, it was my first time seeing my work published in anything printed, be it a magazine, newspaper, whatever, so I was kind of a little bit chuffed. However, the newspaper did not ask my permission, nor did they give me credit. After a few back and forth, I'm very disappointed emails with the newspaper. They did offer to pay a small monetary invoice. Now, while I would normally sell my gear for a lot more than what they offered to pay, and I'm glad I got something in return, because while it is about the art and not about the money, my bills are not paid with art. Weird, I know. Hey, can I buy this pizza with 5 arts? No, you can buy it with money. So I got some money and I can live now. Takeaway from that, be careful, people might be using your images, hold them to account for that. Moving right along, it's shoot time. Right, this is a super simple one. I used my camera's built-in intervalometer. This was shot on my Sony A7S III. I was taking 5-second exposures, ISO 100, aperture was about f9. This means the camera's going to take a photo that lasts for 5 seconds, 1 second gap, photo 5 seconds, 1 second gap, so on and so forth until I tell it to chill out. Make sure if you use this feature, you do pre-dial your manual focus so you don't get any weird hunting and have foreground in focus when it should be out of focus, etc. It also helps with any depth of field issues you may or may not have. If you're thinking, f9 at night, ISO 100, doesn't that seem a little bit dark? Well, lightning is actually very bright. So you want to have it a little bit darker because when the lightning comes down, if it's too light, it's going to be really overexposed. We're not trying to do that. So I let my camera run for a little bit. After I let that run its course, I came out and had 4 shots that I really liked. They had some nice strikes through them. So I dropped my whole batch of photos into Lightroom. I make sure everything's unchecked. I go through frame by frame and I click P on the ones I want and then I import them into Lightroom. Once they're in Lightroom, what I do is hit Command and E at the same time. This opens the photo from Lightroom up into Photoshop. Alternatively, if you don't use Lightroom, you can just drag the files you know you want straight into Photoshop. So now I have all 4 of my favorite strikes in Photoshop. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go to photo number 2. I'm going to select the whole image by going Command and A at the same time. And then I'm going to use Command and C, that's copy. And we're going to go back to our first file and hit Command V. This is going to paste that image directly on top of our original image. Then what we're going to do, we're going to go down here to our blending options. We have screen mode and we have lighten mode. We're going to choose one of these and see which one works best. There is no correct answer. Sometimes, depending on how the strike came out, be it more saturated or a brighter strike, one might work better than the other. So pick that one. Play around with the others if you feel so necessary. Then what we're going to do, we're going to add an adjustment layer by clicking this little guy down here. Once we have our adjustment layer on top of our layer, what we are going to do is make sure the adjustment layer is selected. And then we're going to hit E on our keyboard and this will bring up the eraser. Make sure the hardness is down on the eraser, as this will help blend in the image and tidy up any bits that shouldn't be there. Make sure when you're doing this you are on the selected adjustment layer, because this means if you make a mistake and you go too far, get rid of something that you shouldn't, you can just go back down here, change it over to paint back in, and you can magically reappear your image. Rinse and repeat this same step for all strikes. Then send it back to Lightroom. And maybe take a leaf out of one of my other videos, linked up here. Take that clarity down, take that dehaze down a bit, the highlights and the exposure up a touch, stroke the strikes until they look good, and you're Gucci mango. It's important that all photos were taken in the same location on the tripod without the camera moving. Now, when you are on a gimbal or a tripod or anything like that, anything that's meant to stabilize the camera, turn off optical stabilization in the lens and turn off IBIS in the camera, because you don't want the camera to drift away from the subject you're trying to photograph. And just like that, we have an epic shot. And if people hate on you because they go, oh, you faked it, you photoshopped it. Nah, screw you. It happened at the same time. I was there, I was in the rain. Yeah, boy. And if you're editing a stormy photo like this, it's guaranteed to turn out better if you listen to Bo Lightning at the same time. Start with his song Last Night and work your way forward. Fun fact, I used to work with him. Great dude. Didn't know he could play the guitar or sing. Turns out he's on his way to some sort of stardom coming up soon. Anyway, very much Wolf Mother vibes. If you like that, get on it. Alright, we're done with that one. It's pretty simple, wasn't it? Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks so much for sticking around. If you did enjoy it, remember, give a big fat thumbs up, subscribe, comment. It really helps support the channel and helps me justify how much time and money I spend on this thing. Anyway, catch you in the next one. Bye!
Wicked, wicked, I'm gonna stop it.